Call a meeting of the Brockton Finance Committee for Monday, December 20th, 2021 to order. I recognize a quorum. Councillor Cardoza will not be with us this evening. She had foot surgery and is recuperating. I did send her best wishes from all of us for the holiday season. With that, Madam Clerk, Councilor DeCastro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to take item number 5 out of order and hear it right now.
Second.
Been a motion made and properly seconded to take item 5, a petition of James Murphy, out of order. All in favor? All opposed? It is a vote. Madam Clerk, would you read the item?
Petition of James Murphy for a license to solicit and canvass on behalf of CC Technologies, a solar and energy storage provider. Invited James Murphy.
Mr. Murphy, come on forward. Just, relax. If you have an opening statement, just tell us what you want to do and the nature of your business.
Sure. So I grew up in Brockton. I don't live here any longer, but I lived here until I was 18. Our company is in Avon, and we are offering solar and battery backup because we believe in the mission, and we're also trying to offer it at the best possible price so we can make money, but also help the homeowners save a lot of money as well.
All right, councilors, any questions?
Yes.
Councilor DeCastro.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Murphy. Thank you for being here. You're going to be doing this work yourself, or you have people who will be doing it with you?
No, the door-to-door will be just me.
Just you? And are there certain areas of the city that you will focus on, or just across the city?
I would probably try to mushroom out from our office because we are on the Brockton line, just so people are familiar with our building. Hopefully it'll help with brand recognition, but we would like to probably branch out to all of the city.
So you're on the Avon side of Brockton?
Yes. Oh, well, no, we're in Avon, but on the line right near Avon Auto Brokers across from the Walmart.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Azak.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Murphy. Quick question. Is this the first time you've been before us for a license for solar?
Yes, ma'am.
It is? And will the people that will be going, obviously door to door, will they be identified with any kind of badges or anything that states where they're, what company they're from?
Yep, so right now when we do door-to-door in Avon, we wear the polo and we have the license for the peddler's license for the state of Massachusetts, and that's what Avon allows, and that's what we wear.
Okay.
And it's just me, so it's only going to be me doing it.
Oh, it's only you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else, councilors?
Motion to recommend favorably.
Second.
Been a motion made and properly seconded to recommend favorably. All those in favor? All those opposed? It is a vote. So this is now recommended favorably to the City Council. The actual vote on approval will be next Monday, December 27th.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have to be here next Monday?
Excuse me?
You need me here next Monday?
No, you do not have to be here, but it is an open meeting if you care to come in just to make sure that things go as ordered.
All right, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good holiday.
Thanks, you too.
Madam Clerk, item number 1. Ordered that the City Council authorizes the total proposed approval of $7,587.96 from the Finance Department purchase of services to the Public Consulting Group Incorporated. This will be used to pay an invoice dated April 28, 2021. Invited Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer.
Mr. Clarkson, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Council. As you know, prior year's bills require a vote of the City Council, and this vendor provides services to the city and helping with some of our Medicaid reimbursements, and they conducted an audit of their own billing and realized that they had not billed for a portion and sent this bill along. We did let them know that it would have to go before the City Council before it could be paid, and so it is before you for that reason.
Councilors, any questions?
Move to recommend favorably.
Second.
And a motion made and properly seconded to recommend favorably. All those in favor? All those opposed? It is a vote. Item number 2.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant of funds in the amount of $150,000 from the Office of Justice Programs 2021 BJA fiscal '21, the Kevin and Bonte program, reducing injury and death of missing individuals with dementia and developmental disabilities grant award. To the Brockton Police Department, 2021 DJA fiscal '21, the Kevin and Avanti program, reducing injury and death of missing individuals with dementia and developmental disabilities grant award fund. These grant funds will be used to reintroduce the Project Lifesaver program into the Brockton Police Department. Locative bracelets and accessories will be purchased to be distributed to the individuals with dementia or developmental disabilities. Corresponding receivers will be purchased for the police station. Project Lifesaver training will be provided to 8 officers. All sworn staff and cadets can then be trained in the program. In overtime for bi-monthly battery checks, which will also serve as the family check-ins and resource referral opportunities, will be funded. Invited Emmanuel Gomes, Chief of Police, Ms. Michelle St. James, Grant Coordinator, Brockton Police Department, and Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer.
Good evening, Ms. St. James.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Good evening, councilors. Thank you. This is a new grant to the police department, and as was just stated, it is going to be used to restart Project Lifesaver, which was actually successful in the police department years ago until it just lay dormant because of lack of funding. This is enough funding to get all of the equipment we need, at least for the 3 years of the grant award, and then we'll find a way to sustain from there. And we are, as Brockton Police continues to try to expand its community policing and become more of a link between the community and resources, this is a good way for us to check in on families every 2 months when we do a battery check to see if they need anything, because being a caregiver is not easy. So we would like to be able to help and make sure they have what they need at the same time as we're making sure that we can find anyone who goes missing.
Any questions for Ms. St. James? Councilor Nicastro.
Not a question, just a comment. Good evening, Attorney St. James. I just wanted to say I think this program sounds terrific. Give me an example of how we'll be using it.
Yes, we're going to be working with the Council on Aging and with the schools to find youth who have developmental disabilities, such as being on the spectrum, to see who is in danger of what they call eloping, of going missing, to see who needs these bracelets. And again, with older people who have dementia, because I'm sure you've heard some of the silver alerts. And if we have this bracelet, if the person has the bracelet that we would be providing free of charge, it cuts the time in finding them down to, from what could be a day down to what is probably an hour.
As long as they continue wearing it.
Correct. And that's why we would be checking in with the family to see how they're doing, and also changing the battery every 2 months.
And so you'll identify the people who will potentially wear the bracelets by working with the Council on Aging?
Council on Aging and also the housing developments, Brockton Housing Authority, and even the hospitals.
Old Colony Elder Services may
Of
be
course.
of help to you.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Move to recommend favorably
Second.
back to the full city council.
There's been a motion made and properly seconded to recommend favorably. All in favor? All opposed? It is a vote.
Mr. President,
Councilor Yaneri.
if I might, just for one quick second, I do want to take time to address Michelle and her many years of being a part of the police department and gathering what I call bringing home the bacon to the city of town for all that you do in your programs. And this being my last finance meeting here after 18 years, I do want to say, and I can't remember which mayor actually said, she's a real ace, but whichever one it was, you are a real ace, because you've been able to do this work over and over and over for many, many years, and it's always been a great positive for us here in the city, and a positive for the police department and for public safety, even be it, I know you even help the fire department sometimes as well, getting grants. And I've always said there's one thing that's missing in the city hall sometimes is the actual grant writer. And as if I was ever a sitting mayor, I'd make sure that there'd be one person who'd be sitting either to the left of me or to the right of me, because you can get a lot of work accomplished, and you did. So thanks. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a great job. Well done. Thank you.
Very much, and same to
Thank
you.
you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you,
And
Ms.
Happy
St.
New Year.
James.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, item number 3.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance of a donation for 28.2 acres of vacant land map C4, lots 12 and 26 off School Street in Pembroke, Mass. Owned by Richard Clements. The value of this land is $725,000. Invited Megan Bridges, City Solicitor, Pat Hill, Interim DPW Commissioner.
Counsel is representing the solicitor this evening is Assistant Solicitor Donegan, if there are questions. So, Mr. Donegan, do you want to make a brief comment?
Good evening. I think I'd defer to Patrick. He's the most knowledgeable about this, but I'm here if anyone has any questions.
All right. Good evening, Commissioner.
Councilors, so this is two parcels of land that abut Silver Lake, not directly. There's actually no direct frontage on Silver Lake, but they abut the Tubbs Brook Meadow, which ultimately does fizzle out into Silver Lake. It's sometimes used for diversion purposes for Furnace Pond. So we went out and viewed both properties. This would be considered source water protection area to protect the source at Silver Lake.
Okay, Councilor Azak?
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
So 28 acres, which is a good amount of land, and value of $725 is $725,000, is very generous. Does Mr. Clements have any ties to the city, or is this just a...
To my knowledge, he does not have any personal ties to the city. He's owned the land for some time. He considered the option of developing the land as opposed to donating it, and he thought his perspective was to just donate the land to source water protection.
So he contacted us and just said he wants to donate, or we sought him out to get him to...
That's correct.
So he's just wants to donate, no exchange of anything, or?
I believe there's probably some form of a benefit to him. What that is, I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor, just so you'll know, he called me because my name was listed as council president probably last July and indicated that he wanted to donate this land. His concern was that if the land were developed, that it might impact on our watershed area. I immediately put him in contact with the solicitor's office. They picked up the ball along with the mayor from there. There is nothing that we have to give to him for this land. I will tell you that I did get an email from the solicitor this afternoon. He is represented by counsel, and my understanding is that eventually he'll try to have either the federal government or the state government indicate or document that it's a protected area, and I think at that point he may or may not be eligible for some tax benefits. But that is outside the scope of what we're doing.
Well, thank you, for clarifying that, Mr. President. So at this point, then, I would like to publicly thank him, because I think it's a very generous gift, no matter what he's getting in return. A very kind gift to the city of Brockton. So I thank you, Mr. Clements. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Motion to recommend favorably back to...
Thompson. All right. Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening, Commissioner Hill. So what's the city of Brockton's intention with this land?
We have no intentions of doing anything with the land, Councilor. We'll leave it as is. It's a pine grove. It's a beautiful area. It has a few vernal pools, a couple of smaller water bodies, and we'll leave it as is, as a wooded area.
So it's currently, I think, reading through the property analysis, it's currently a wooded area in its natural state, and our intent is to keep it that way.
That's correct.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else? If not,
Motion to recommend favorably.
Second.
there's been a motion made and properly seconded to recommend favorably. All those in favor? All those opposed? It is a vote. Item number 4.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $68,000 from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection Recycling Dividends Program Grant to the Department of Public Works Recycling Dividends Program Grant Fund. The grants funds will be used to provide payments from municipalities that have implemented specific programs and policies proven to maximize reuse, recycling, and waste production and incentives to improve their recycling program. There is no required match for this grant. Invited Pat Hill, Interim DPW Commissioner, and Troy Claxon, Chief Financial Officer.
Good evening, Commissioner, again.
Good evening. So this is a grant that comes out every year, and it's a performance-based grant. It's done through a point system. We receive 17 points. The points determine, well, I should say the amount of people that you service determine what the points are worth. The category that we fall into is $4,000 per point. We receive 17 points, $68,000. There's always room to move. We can receive up to $104,000 every year, but it's been pretty consistent for the past few years.
Motion to recommend favorably back to the full city council.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded to recommend favorably. All in favor? All opposed? It is a vote.
Thank you.
Councilors, I believe that concludes our agenda. Councilor Azak, recognition.
Moment of council's recognition. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I would like to recognize Brockton High School's award-winning band and chorus had their holiday concert last week, and as usual, they put on an amazing show. We have a lot of talent right here in Brockton at our high school, and they put on concerts, and they were well attended, and it was nice to have everybody kind of participate again in these events. Also last week, our local cable station, Brockton Community Access, had their holiday party, Feathers and Fedoras, and Councilor Rodriguez was there, and he can attest to what a success and how much fun the party was. They had great, obviously, music, they had activities, and they had great food there, but what they're also doing is they're getting a lot of residents involved with the local cable station. So there was really a great turnout, a lot of local residents, and a lot of exciting new shows happening there. So it was really a great time. So before I end, I would like to just thank everybody at home for always watching us. I know I get a lot of comments about, residents watch us and keep up with our meetings. So thank you for staying involved, and I'd like to wish everybody at home that celebrates a very Merry Christmas this week. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Monahan.
Yeah, I'd just like to recognize the CFO, Troy Clark, and he sent me a nice Merry Christmas greeting today, and I just want to give him kudos for the guts he has to have that suit on, that Christmas suit he has on in that photo. Just a little.
Councilor Monahan, I was going to post that on social media, and I was afraid that the internet would melt down. So.
With that, we need to congratulate our CFO because they won second prize to our clerk for the holiday decorating contest. That was really, you guys did an amazing job here at City Hall, and but
It must have been because he was wearing that suit next to the tree.
All right, councilors, we do meet next Monday. On behalf of all of us, to everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Meeting adjourned.